Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. My Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me it's 9:11 and change. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America, the place for the brave. Like the veterans we salute today, thanks to John Basiliga and his great family of companies, including Basiliga Hospitality and the marketplace at Steamtown. Like Paul Wentovich, Mayfield, Wayne Lance, Scranton, Richard Farron, Scranton, formerly of Dunmore, Willard Carey, West Wyoming, Walter Sack, Dunmore, Arthur Martin, Eldersburg, Late, and Scranton and Troop, PA. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our incredible founding fathers, that our government is not to be our parent, our guide, our salvation, our direction. Not any of these things, but is nothing more than a necessary evil we require to organize and protect society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. It wasn't something that could be parceled out to groups. It wasn't something that could be controlled by government or government officials, and many of them hate it. Our great American Constitution, it ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, no matter how they use it. Now, armed with these freedoms, and only because they had them, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. And so, we gavel to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that because of our commitment to common sense, we will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you for the balance of this morning. And we need it. Man, oh man, I mean, you just hear from local politics to on the Democrat side, our mayor in Scranton, you just hear the lies. To an election board which broke the law, to a Pennsylvania Supreme Court which had a direct connection to the Lackawanna County Election Board and didn't disclose it. Wow. It's crazy stuff, guys. It's crazy. And so here we are. So many things to talk about. It has really gained ground and caught fire. By the way, that was Garrett Soldano and, of course, the great Victor Davis Hanson opening up the program. But so many things always going on because the lunatic left is not going down without a fight. And it's not a direct line to victory with these people. You've got to remember they still control the media and the media narrative by and large. And there are still people, normal people, non-political people, who still trust things like ABC News, who still trust NPR, who still trust CBS, NBC, who still think they're getting the truth from CNN. I don't think anybody thinks they're getting the truth from MSNBC. I could be wrong. There are great fools amongst us. But it's man. So this North Carolina Charlotte murder, and it is Brutal. I watched the full thing for the first time. Now, unless there was, there's no sound, I could almost understand that people didn't know that a murder took place, even right next to them. There was circumstantial evidence, but it was, the poor young woman, she curled up in a ball and just died. This savage. Sick savage. And I say this about race. It is a construct. And what does a construct mean? Because you hear these terms all the time. It's an invention, basically, by people who get advantage by dividing others. And it's used by everybody, but it's really a weapon of the left, as we know. The killer happens to be black. The victim happens to be Ukrainian and white, a foreigner, but legally here, and a woman. Do you think she would have cared if it was a white or Asian lunatic? Does it matter? No, zero. What matters is that a DEI magistrate and left-wing Democrat politicians in North Carolina, both the former attorney general and who's the current governor and the former governor, they teamed up to have these no bail statutes and to have some kind of bullspit equity in sentence. Insanity. Democrat insanity. Democrat ideology killed that woman as surely as the insane person who wielded the knife. And it happens over and over and over again. And you got to remember this. They don't apologize for it. They don't admit they are wrong ever, which is why the battle's won, but the war goes on. Look at the CDC, just for example. RFK Jr., and I got to tell you, I don't know. Does he have executive ability? I don't know, except that I know he's completely sincere in his efforts and completely fearless in his efforts. Okay, those two things, undeniable. He's not owned by anybody or any force, including President Trump, who's actually adopted his plan of action. So we've got a CDC, Center for Disease Control, which has obviously and abjectly failed. What's all the screaming and crying about? It isn't just about contributions from Big Pharma. Please know that. It goes much deeper than that. It is the swamp defending the swamp. And they try to attack and kill anything that goes after their status quo. And remember what we do. We fail in education because of left-wing ideology and federalization of education policy, which unfortunately meant that the heads of the teachers' unions, not the teachers unions, dictate policy, and it's therefore a failure because it's left-wing policy. What do? They say, that's not really working out well. Nobody in Chicago can read. What do? Oh, we need more money. And until Donald Trump, until this administration, everybody went along with it. Oh, the Department of Education. Well, you better give them more money because we have to prove we care about education. Oh, we can't be firing people who fail at their jobs. So even if Kennedy's making mistakes, and I don't know that he is, I think he's doing the right things. Reasonable minds can differ. Make the mistakes. And if the mistake heads towards dismantlement of the establishment, of the bureaucracy, of the government, you are doing the right thing. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Oh, Lord. Kamala Harris has a book now. Oh, my God. Oh, she doesn't have anything to say in a 5-minute speech. Now she's got a book. Holy cow. And let's go back to Kamala. She is so shallow. The only chance she stood of winning is if it was a 10-day campaign because she was going to get discovered as the nothing that she is the longer the campaign went on. And it went on just long enough. Bob LTS, NBC had report this morning that test scores for high school students at a 20-year low. And the lunatics don't want any changes to the education system. They don't want to touch anything. I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah. Somebody's Kamala Harris has a book, pop-up or coloring. It couldn't be anything more. Wow. It was frightening. Frightening. All right. I'm over. But it's time to hear from our great sponsors. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We've got David DeCosmo this morning. Absolutely love it. And but I did want to touch on, and we're going to touch on more stuff. This North Carolina murder, the whole bit. So much to talk about. Local, national, everything. And plus whatever you want to say. 570-883-0098 to call or to text. We'll be back. The Kinks. Murph says this date, 1964. They had the #1 hit in the UK with You Really Got Me. And before that, the Battle of Lake Erie. War of 1812. Oliver Perry defeated the British. Which, not a small feat. They were the most respected and biggest and toughest Navy in the world at the time. How many, assets did they have on Lake Erie? It doesn't matter. We won. And it was a big deal. All right, we're back. I look at my Ricardo Jewelers watch. It tells me it's 9:28 and 49. Rich McHale said, Bob, did you hear if Al Sharpton had any comments? One of the trolls says, I find it interesting that the bottom 12 or so ranked states in education are red states, yet you blame the left, as usual, for the failure in education. I think it's either the Republicans are doing badly in their states or stupid people vote red. Fascinating. And that would be your take. Are you telling me that our education is not failing? And are you telling me that the education agenda is not left-wing and run by the teachers' unions and their left-wing agenda? Please remember, these government unions, which have to be abolished and should be illegal, their agenda has nothing to do with the people they represent or the jobs they do. I saw it. I dealt with the SEIU, with the county. All they were cared about is getting left-wing politicians elected in the state of Pennsylvania. That's all they cared about. They did not care about any of their employees, period. I talking right to them. Since education's been federalized and the education agenda, it has failed the students of America dramatically. Where is it failing the most? In left-wing run Democrat cities. Those are two facts. Undeniable. You could troll all you want. Those are the facts. That is the reality. That is the truth that you won't face. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why. What do you win here? To say you were right? I'm not getting it. What do you win defending the CDC? What do you win, unless you're those affected, by DOJ exposing, and remember the scam. It's used here in Scranton by Paige Cognetti. We pay consultants. It doesn't matter what it's for. They use most of the money to benefit themselves. They'll provide a bullspit study or program or something. Most of the money they keep, and then they keep supporting the people who fund them. A circle jerk. That's a substantial portion of your tax dollars. Somebody takes it, Bob, did you know those hillbillies in Florida have led the nation in education 3 years in a row? Again, troll, are you going to tell me that the left-wing run cities that are spending the most money per pupil are doing a good job? Abject failure. And it results in crime and other disasters. We know, these things are undeniable. But yet you deny. I'm not getting it. I'm telling you, we just talked about it on our own airwaves here. Paige Cognetti coming on the morning show, she said that She's spoken to families who have children with disabilities whose funding had been cut. The big mediocre bill, for all of its faults, hasn't even gone into effect regarding Medicaid and those kind of programs. And when it does in 2026, I'm dying to know. Oh, well, who did you speak to, Paige? Which person are you making up? Or did you read your left-wing talking points today and now you're going to repeat them and regurgitate? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember the study on crime that Page hired these people who never did a study on crime? And there were left-wing idiots. Your tax dollars went, and they said the biggest crime threat in the city was white male veterans. I've been noticing all the crime they've been committing. Yeah. Now, this is nuts. Absolutely nuts. An entire political party has been reduced to basing its platform on lies just to justify it. Unreal. Bob, did you know that 55 schools in Democrat paradise of Chicago, not one kid proficient in math or reading? Wow. And by the way, if you take a look at Kamala Harris's book, their presidential candidate is not worthy of proficient in writing. All right. Time to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to hear from our great sponsors. We've got a Veterans Tribute. And after the Veterans Tribute, we've got Kristen Powers. She's got some things going on at the marketplace at Steamtown this weekend. And I hasten to add, and will continue to add, they're doing something really neat at the Art House, Scranton Art House. Football on the monster screens. The Chiefs and the Eagles this Sunday. Amazing. I love it. We'll take a break and be back. Our veterans this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. Featuring two properties of his great Basiliga hospitality group, the Marketplace at Steamtown. I'm going to talk to Kristen Powers about that in a minute. And the Scranton Art House, host of the Eagles-Chiefs game on the big screen this Sunday. How great. The Bloomsburg Legion, they've got posted what we all know to be true about our veterans. It says, what is a veteran? A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who, at one point in his or her life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America and its people for an amount of up to and including his or her life. Arthur Martin, late of Eldersburg, Maryland. He was 92 when he passed August 27th. Born in Scranton, raised in Troop. He graduated from Troop High School, class in 1950. He was senior class president, editor of the school newspaper. Art was a veteran of the United States Navy Air Force, serving 52 to 56. He received his bachelor's degree from Spring Hill College, then a master's degree from George Washington University in Washington, D.C. He was employed at the Social Security Administration and the Healthcare Financing Administration for 30 years as a management analyst, branch chief. He was also, for 30 years, faculty member at a number of community colleges throughout the Maryland region. Art is survived by his beloved wife, Anne, sons, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, stepdaughters, stepsons, step-grandchildren. The legacy is astonishing. Art was preceded in death by his first wife, Peggy, sons Arthur, Paul, Mark, and his best friend George Bodden mentioned as well. He was 92 at his passing. Arthur Martin. Now, a man I knew my whole life. Walter Sack. He was 91 when he passed August 28th. He was from Dunmore. Preceded in death by his wife of 60 years, Rita Quatrasack. Husband, father, grandfather, and friend. And I can tell you from knowing him my entire young life, admired by all. He was born in Scranton, graduate of Scranton Central High School, where he was star on the track team. He got his BS and his MBA degree from the University of Scranton. Walter Sack served an enlistment in the U.S. Navy as a hospital corpsman, followed by many years in the U.S. Navy Reserve, retiring as a chief petty officer. He proudly raised the flag as part of the color guard during many Memorial Day ceremonies. He was a banker to start, and then became an accountant for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for over 40 years, until his retirement at age 87. In his free time, Walter was found tending to his amazing vegetable garden. He and Mrs. Sack enjoyed square dancing and polka. Longtime member and stalwart of St. Anthony's Parish in Dunmore. Surviving are his children, and they were equally great. Grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Lifelong model to look at for me, Walter Sack. Our great veterans this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga, his great Scranton Art House, home of the Eagles and the Chiefs Sunday, and the Marketplace at Steamtown. Meteorologist Joe Snedeker in the Storm Tracker 16 forecast. Today, partly sunny with a chance of a shower in the Poconos. High 73. I don't think it's going to get that warm. maybe late in the afternoon. It's only 60 now. Tonight, partly cloudy down to 53. Thursday, some sun and clouds, high 78. Friday, sun and some clouds, high 78. Neat. Fall. It has a fall feel to it, though, doesn't it? The Byrds, this date 1965. Murph says they recorded their hit Turn, Turn, Turn at Columbia Studios, Los Angeles, California. And before that, Jeffrey Mead on Instagram. Jasmine Crockett. It's the gift that keeps on, she is the gift that keeps you on giving stupidity. She just keeps on giving and giving and giving. It's got to be painful to give at this point. Wow. Slick says he just started following Jeffrey Mead. He really is good. I get a lot of stuff that he provides and produces. It's good stuff, Jeffrey Mead. This is how stupid they are. This is how blind they are, how intentionally blind. So when I get worked up and in a lather about an idiot like Jasmine Crockett, I think about something good. And that is the Scranton Public Market at the Marketplace at Steamtown. Now, Saturday, September 20th, there's a lot going on that day, 11 to 5. And we'll talk to her about it again, but Kristen Powers tells me on the second floor of the Marketplace at Steamtown, they're going to do their basics. They also have a kickoff of rooftop yoga. They're going to come back with 30 local vendors this time. Fresh produce, baked goods, all that. Live music. Great stuff at the Marketplace at Steamtown. It is a tremendous event space, as I was telling you yesterday. And here is the aforementioned Kristen Powers. Kristen, how are you? Good to talk to you again.
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Tell me, I gave the rough details, but this sounds even better than the first one.
Yeah, I think we're going to keep building a community and momentum, but this next one on Saturday, September 20th, starts with rooftop yoga at 11 a.m. with Mindy Hill, and that's a $10 suggested donation. And then when you wrap that up, you could come into the event, which is 12 to 5. And
now, where's that rooftop?
So the rooftop, yes, I'm glad you asked because it is kind of confusing. You have to come into the parking garage on the bus station side of Lackawanna Ave. So, there's, we'll call it the Boscov's North Washington side, and then the bus station side, which is more towards Mifflin.
State
So if you
building,
come
all
in
that,
yeah, if you come into that side, hug to the right and go all the way up, level 3, you'll be on the roof of the parking garage at Scranton Public Market.
Okay.
So after yoga, you could come in for a bite to eat. We'll have wine tastings by Lucci Family Wine, beer tastings by Blind Cat Brewery, and then over 30 local vendors that include pop-up restaurants, packaged foods, treats, bakeries, produce, plants. It's a whole slew of things for a great afternoon. And also we'll have live music with Greg Condrat, Jim Cullen, and Susie Rowan.
Neat. I follow the Lucci Family Wine on Instagram also, so that's neat. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, but it doesn't get more local than that.
30 local vendors, plus the musicians, plus the yoga on Saturday, 11 to 5 o'clock, the 20th. That's a lot of work putting this together, Kristen. How was the attendance at the last event?
Oh, it was great, and there was so much positive feedback. I think people are excited to see something in that space and also be a part of something in that space.
Yeah,
so I can only imagine it's just going to keep growing and just be a fun, vibrant, mixed-use space up on that second floor of the marketplace at Steamtown.
All right, well, you've got to call in again to talk about this. I'm excited for it. It is the Scranton Public Market. It's going to be a pop-up deal with rooftop yoga. The Scranton Public Market, of course, over 30 local vendors, music, all of that. Man, great stuff, Kristen.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, and I'll definitely call back in.
Please do. We're looking forward. I want to hear more details and make sure that I don't forget about it. The last one was great. Kristen Powers
thanks so much.
from Basilica Hospitality, Marketplaces, Steamtown, Saturday, September 20th. Don't miss it. It's getting better and better and better. Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll return. The Supremes, Murph says they had their 7th number one hit out of their 17 songs with You Can't Hurry Love, this date 1966. As we head towards the news, because my Picardo Jewelers watch tells me that it is 10 o'clock. And you got to remember, I've got the Picardo watch. They've also got Breitling, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army, and Seiko. And that means that Picardo's is your watch store. So Picardo Jewelers, your watch store in Northeast Pennsylvania, tells me it's 10:01 and change. Time for the news with Brian Hughes. We'll be back. Great good morning, everyone. My Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me it's 10:09 and change here in the great Northeast this beautiful Wednesday, September 10, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values. And with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and just two of his properties, the great Scranton Art House hosting NFL football this Sunday. And, of course, the marketplace at Steamtown with another big pop-up market event on the 20th. We will honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we lost this year, but celebrate this day. Walter Sack, Dunmore. Arthur Martin, late of Eldersburg, but he was from Scranton, raised in Troop. Willard Carey, West Wyoming. Richard Farron, late of Scranton, but he was from Dunmore. Wayne Lance, Scranton. And Peter Wentovich, Mayfield. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense. And our friend Mary Regina was kind enough to forward to me Mother Teresa, St. Teresa for today, September 10th. You are the future of family life. You are the future of the joy of loving. You are the future of making your life something beautiful for God. That you love a girl or that you love a boy is beautiful, but don't spoil it. Don't destroy it. Ask God to guide you in your love. The incomparable St. Teresa, Mother Teresa. Good stuff. Anyway, David DeCosmo. Two more housekeeping things. In case I forget to mention it, our own Rob O'Donnell, 3 to 6 Rob O'Donnell, he has been asked to do the opening prayer for today's Pennsylvania Senate session. What a great honor. And it's in honor of September 11th. And we all know we had him on last year, Rob O'Donnell, and he's got haunting September 11th memories. He was still a detective in New York City Police Department. He was there at Ground Zero. So Rob O'Donnell at the Pennsylvania State Senate session. Great stuff. And a couple other things. People asking me about, and I can't figure it out yet. I'm working with Andy Mahalchik to make it simple for a simpleton like me. How to get this 2822 app. And I don't know. You go to 2822 on your computer. And you go 2822 app. And once you're signed up for it, you should find the interview we did last week. If you don't, text back and let's see what happens. Somebody else texted in that song you just played by the Byrds, Turn, Turn. Turn is a healing song. When my father was dying, it helped me to get through that rough time. And it's a Bible verse that it is based upon. One of the most beautiful ones, very often used at funerals. And it provides great consolation. Speaking of all of that, Pastor Mitch says, God bless you, Bob, and I tell him he has. God bless the veterans, and God bless the USA. LTS back at you, Pastor Mitch. Thanks for checking in. Somebody said, hello, I met a veteran who said to look up an old interview he did with you and can't find it on the app. Is there another way? Bulldog, you mark them, right? If you've got to know the date. And then you'll find, and obviously you know the name of the veteran. You have to know the date. You go to WILKnewsradio.com. You go to podcasts for my show. Go to the date, and it'll tell you when that particular interview was done. This one I sort of know how to do. In any event. Well, our guy, David DeCosmo, I can't get enough to him. And today, we're talking about the Shepton mine disaster. Okay, I apologize. We're talking about the Latimer massacre. Miners shot down by sheriff's deputies. And that's on September 10th. That's anniversary today. And here he is. March the Cue Balls theme song, David DeCosmo. How are you, David?
Oh, I'm fine, but we already talked about the Shepton mine disaster.
I know. It's the Latimer Massacre.
Latimer Massacre, yeah. You got to go back to the date, as you just told everybody, Bob, and we're going to go back to 1897.
Wow.
Yeah, a couple of years back, so I did not cover this personally. But there was a lot of active coal mines in the area back in those days, and a lot of bad working conditions, and a lot of the miners were beginning to join the United Mine Workers. We had 4 mines on strike in Luzerne County back then, and about 300 to 400 of those strikers and union members marched on a mine in Latimer, Pennsylvania, right outside of Hazleton. And that mine was still operating, and their goal was to try to recruit them, get them to shut that mine down, and fight as a unified force for better working conditions. Now, the mine workers had their own little armed force, the Coal and Iron Police, but they didn't really have that many people. So they called on the Luzerne County Sheriff. It was James Martin at the time. And Martin brings a posse, about 100 deputies, to the Latimer area. And on September the 10th of 1897, there were about 300 to 400 of those strikers coming to that mine. They were ordered to disperse. They did not. And shots rang out. 19 miners were shot dead.
Wow. And
by the way, most of them in the back. And a number of others, quite a few others, were wounded. It's amazing. We look back into history, and there are so many things that we didn't even know at the time. Apparently coming to the area by trolley car, one of the deputies, that is, was heard to say, "I'll bet I can get 6 of them." So, I mean, they were out for blood to start with, and it was literally a massacre. As far as we know, none of the demonstrators were armed at all. Now that may be wrong. Again, it's something you can't go back and be that accurate, but as far as was known with public record, none of the demonstrators were armed. The incident caused all kinds of, you can imagine the reaction. There were more and more demonstrators starting to gather, and so they called in the Pennsylvania National Guard to the area, and they were able to pretty much at least maintain peace. Ironically, it was the anger over the shootings that solidified the demonstrators' position and led to more miners joining the strike, and eventually getting the better working conditions and higher wages that they were seeking. So it was a tragedy, but it led in the end to the miners really getting what they wanted. And now you look back, and no mines left in the area. An industry has literally built our area that is now pretty much a memory.
David, isn't it amazing? I mean, 19 people killed. The magnitude of that, even in those days, it's remarkable.
Oh, absolutely. And you consider the number of people who were on strike at the time. 4 different mines shut down. These were guys who weren't making all that money. They were living, paycheck to paycheck. Most of them, when they did have to spend their money, it was in a company store, so it was going right back to the mine owners. And at that time of that century, it was just probably unions were the thing to do. Yeah. United Mine Workers was getting extremely strong at that time, but the other side, the coal operators, were so powerful. Imagine they could literally be the ones to call in the sheriffs to bring in deputies. Of course, sheriffs had a little different power then than today's sheriffs are. Primarily, they escort prisoners, they serve warrants and things like that. They were more like an actual police force back at that time, and that was a daunting crowd. But you got 300 to 400 unarmed strikers and maybe 100 or 200 armed deputies. The odds are not in your favor at that point.
And most of them were not paid deputies. They were paid just for paid thugs almost for the mine owners.
Yeah. I mean, per diem. So it was an incident that, like many I tell you about, Bob, these are things that are almost forgotten. If you go into Latimer today, you'll see a huge stone monument that remembers, what happened. I don't know how many people stop and actually read that monument. Yeah. I don't know how many young kids really know what happened in their backyard. And I'm a nut on saying that some of this local history, not only local, I mean national as well, is not remembered as it ought to be, and it should be. You mentioned September 11th. Everybody's talking about September 11th, and rightfully so. September 11th, there was another massacre right outside of Hazleton. It was called the Sugarloaf Massacre. And in that case, it was British soldiers and Native Americans, Indians, who took on American militia and killed a mess of them right outside of Hazleton by a stream that runs out there. And now there is one of those Pennsylvania historical markers marking the Sugarloaf Massacre. How many people remember it? I don't know. September 11th, 1941, they started work on a new building called the Pentagon. And how about 1600s, I guess? A fellow named Henry Hudson discovered a place called the Isle of Manhattan.
Yeah,
September 11th.
Hey, David, where could you find that Latimer stone? Is it visible from a roadway?
It's just as you drive. You're coming down Route 309 into Hazleton from the Wilkes-Barre area. There is a Big Sheets gas station on the right, and there's a left-hand turn into the community of Latimer. And about a half a mile back in there, the road becomes sort of a Y, and this stone is right at the center, or right at the entrance to the village, and it's at that Y in the road. Pretty large marker.
Latimer Massacre. Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. David, thank you, as always, for bringing us this critical history. And it's history we've forgotten. It really is.
Yeah, it's good to have some memories. But
By the way,
thank you for the opportunity, Bob. And as always, I hope all your news is good.
David, somebody text in, David sounds like home.
Well, I thank those who still remember it. By the way, I'm on some of those podcasts with Andy on 28 too.
Yeah, we're trying to maneuver to find them, but
yeah, I've got them on my Roku, but they're still working on all the mechanics of it.
They're not on the computer yet. That's right. They're only on Roku and Apple TV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Worth watching, though. Definitely worth watching.
Hey, David, thank you so much. Always a great pleasure. Always an honor.
Thank you, Bob. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Right. David, don't forget his daily blog. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Of course, the two explications by Sam Elliott regarding D-Day and a British soldier regarding the trench warfare of World War I. But there are many other veterans we honor, and they are captured in a stone outside the Bloomsburg Legion. What is a veteran? A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who, at one point in his or her life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America and its people for an amount of up to and including his or her life. That is honor. And the veterans we salute this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by our friend John Basiliga and his great family of companies, featuring today the marketplace at Steamtown. They're going to have another great pop-up market on September 20th, next Saturday. And, of course, this Sunday, Chiefs-Eagles football on the big screen at our downtown theater, our Scranton Art House. Richard Farron, he was 81 when we lost him August 27th. He was from Scranton, formerly of Dunmore. Preceded in death by his wife, the former Barbara Turr. That couple had been married for 56 years. Richard Farron was born in Scranton, earned his GED alongside his wife Barbara from the Scranton Technical High School. He honorably served in the United States Army. Prior to retirement, he was a maintenance technician for Procter & Gamble. Simple man, his favorite meal was breakfast. Almost every morning he went somewhere and enjoyed the camaraderie. Surviving his daughters, grandchildren, and many other family members. Richard Farron. Willard Carey. He was a World War II veteran. We lost him September 2nd, 3 weeks shy of turning 101 years old. Born in 1924 in West Wyoming. He graduated from West Wyoming High School. He enlisted in the U.S. Navy, completing his basic engineering course at Wentworth Institute, Boston, Mass., completing that training in Rhode Island. He graduated from the U.S. Naval Training Station, Sampson, New York. He was honorably discharged from the U.S. Navy in 1946 after serving in the Mediterranean Sea during World War II with Mortar Torpedo Squadron 22. He worked at Westmoreland Mines to save enough to start a business and married Ruth Jones in 1947. They had enjoyed 52 wonderful years of marriage. In 1950, Willard pursued his dream of opening Carey's Sporting Goods, which he owned for 41 years. Devoted members of the Wyoming United Methodist Church, member of the Board of Trustees, and he was a Mason's Mason. On top of all that, preceded in death by his wife, Ruth, still surviving, his son, Kirk, his granddaughter, 4 great-grandchildren. Buried in Wyoming, World War II vet Willard Carey. Our great veterans brought to you by John Basiliga, the Scranton Art House, host of great NFL football. Not a better place to watch it this Sunday. Go see the Eagles. And, of course, Saturday the 20th, the Marketplace at Steamtown, hosting another amazing pop-up event. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. He says today partly sunny with a chance of a shower in the Poconos, 73 degrees. Tonight partly cloudy, low of 53. Thursday, sun and some clouds, 78. Friday, sun and some clouds, 78. So not so bad, right? We'll deal with it. We'll live with it. And Bulldog played away. The Beatles. This date, 1968, Murph tells us they recorded their 15th number one hit in the UK with Hey Jude. And if that was Pat Cooper before that, I love that piece. He's just funny. I don't even care what he's saying. He's funny. Well, it's September 10th today. We told you about Rob O'Donnell opening the U.S. Senate, or the State Senate, down in Harrisburg today at 11 o'clock. But there's another great event happening tomorrow. It's the 24th anniversary of September 11th, and they're having a remembrance ceremony at Luzerne County Community College. And it just sounds amazing. Douglas Fawbush is with us. He's director of LCC Campus Safety and Security. Douglas, welcome to the Bob Cordaro Show. How are you?
Good morning, Bob. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you in here.
Appreciate it.
Tell us about this. This obviously took a lot of work to put together.
This is one of our favorite ceremonies that we hold at the college every year. It's an annual event. It started back in 2010 when
Wow.
the Walk of Honor Center was dedicated. And we host this every year as a remembrance to those who perished on 9/11.
Well, you've got a lot. The invocation, the national anthem, Pledge of Allegiance, final alarm ceremony by the Nanticoke Fire Department. President Ujiciak, my buddy, is going to speak. Michael Turner, Chief of Police in the Wyoming Area Regional Police Department. Tyler Souters from the United States Navy, Master at Arms, First Class, Petty Officer, retired. Then you're going to present the memorial wreath. And I got to tell you, Doug, for a director of security, they're putting a lot of weight on your shoulders for this event. You open and close.
I MC the event. I can't brag that I'm the only one that takes part in this. We have a lot of our LCC employees and personnel that help me, and it's kind of a group effort that puts this together, so I can't take all the credit.
Yeah.
But we have a packed program. It's a wonderful program that we hold every year with having the Nanticoke Fire Department present. We have a bagpiper. We have our guest speakers. And one of the things we like this year, too, is we also have a Navy veteran that is speaking with us, who's also a student at LCC.
Oh, neat. What time does it start?
The event starts at 10 o'clock tomorrow at our Walk of Honor 9/11 Memorial, which is directly across from the main campus on Prospect Street.
Were you involved from the inception of this event back in 2010?
I wasn't part of the college back then, so this was started prior to me. But it's something that it's a tradition now at the college where we host this every year. And when I took over this role, it was part of my duties to be involved in this, and I'm grateful to be able to do it.
It's great stuff. It's a very solemn ceremony. It's a tragic remembrance. I can only imagine the solemnity with which it's conducted.
It is truly, like you said. We do have the Nanticoke Fire Department there. Other fire departments show up. Local police departments, EMS, first responders. It's something we don't want to do, but something we feel we have to do.
Yeah.
It's just something we want to do every year, and to honor those who perished.
What are your personal recollections of September 11th, 2001?
I was actually in corporate security at the time at a federal building here in the area, and we had heard about a plane, hitting one of the trade centers. And again, we kind of thought, well, is this a joke? Is this real? Then the second plane, and then everything that happened afterwards, and then the Pentagon, and then Shanksville. So it started to become more serious.
When did you know? If you're a security guy, you're a security expert. When did you know this is terrorism? When did it strike you?
I think when it was the second plane. I mean, the first one could have been an accident. Nobody really knew yet.
Yeah.
And then when the domino started falling, it's like, something could be happening here. So we ended up, the building was evacuated, everything shut down. The only people that were there were security. For a couple days, we were shut down until we figured out what we're going to do and how we maybe now have to change our security procedures at the building. So it's one of those days that you always remember where you were.
Looking at it from the standpoint, and exclusive of LCCC, because you're remembering this, are we becoming lax again?
I hope not.
Yeah.
This is, like I said, a program we've done every year since 2010, and we'll continue to do so. So hopefully other places will hold these memorials, and I'm sure they do. But it's just something I think we have to continue to do to keep that alive.
We'd never seen anything like. I mean, this actually eclipsed Pearl Harbor in terms of death toll, and it was and Hawaii was not even a state at that time. This was right in the heart of this country, both at the capital in New York and then tragically in Shanksville as well. I think it's great that you're doing this and spearheading this, and believe me, it's much appreciated. So tomorrow, 10 a.m. at Luzerne County Community College, a 24th remembrance of the September 11, 2001 attacks. Doug, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys doing this, and a great shout out to LCCC and President John Udechek as well.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you putting the message out.
Well, thanks for coming in too, Doug. And I don't let too many people in because this is when I do my push-ups.
I know. I feel honored. I appreciate it.
No, you shouldn't feel honored. It's just rare.
Well, I'm a local guy, born and raised in Northeast PA, and first time in the studio. So this is quite an honor. I appreciate it.
Well, you're a pro. Well, look at you should be in communications. You're the guy they send out.
I happen to be that
Chuck
lucky person.
You know.
Yeah, they picked me. I guess I'm the lucky one.
You must know how to do it. Well, thank you, Douglas Fallbush, Director, LCCC Campus Safety and Security. Tomorrow's dedication and 24th remembrance at Luzerne County Community College. A brick dedication as well. Great stuff. Thanks again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, the eponymous program. We will roll on.
my kid is a Beatles and a Dylan fan.
Oh.
This is like kismet that you're playing his music. That's great.
This date, 1975, Bob Dylan recorded his hit Hurricane and two others for the television special, The World of John Hammond. And Dylan signed with Columbia Records. Great songwriter other than that, but that's one of his best songs, without a doubt. And, I asked Doug Fawbush from LCCC to stay back because we start talking about how this all got started at Luzerne County Community College, and it's a big deal. It's an interesting story. Tell us.
Yeah, it's a very interesting story. It was actually started by a mother from the Nanticoke area named Phyllis Carlo. Her son, Michael Carlo, was a New York City firefighter that was killed on 9/11.
Wow.
And she wanted to do something in honor of her son. So she had reached out to, actually at the time, it was Congressman Udicek, his office, to see if she could do something. Or Senator Udicek.
Don't misidentify your boss now.
I call him President Udicek now. So anyway, yes, she reached out to him. He was instrumental in reaching out to the LCC administration at the time and created this 9/11 memorial at our facility at the campus. So her doing that for her son kind of spearheaded this whole ceremony and this whole remembrance, not just for him, but also all the other first responders that perished that day. So she was instrumental in getting this created, coming to LCC, and having this put at our campus.
So there's a real depth to the origin of this ceremony, and wow, so that's why I said we have to sit down again and finish this discussion. Talking to Douglas Fawbush, director of Luzerne County Community College Safety and Security. You also said that there's a place for reflection at LCCC.
Right. The area itself there's benches and things that you can actually sit there, look at the plaques that are there in honor of people that had served, whether it was firefighters, police officers, military. There's also bricks. The sidewalk area is all brick, where you can work with our alumni association if you want to dedicate a brick in honor of someone. That's there that you can sit and look at.
And so not necessarily associated with September 11th,
No,
right?
It could be anyone in honor of a loved one or anyone that was in the service or maybe first responder. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
But it's a nice place for people to go to just sit, and sometimes they just sit and reflect and walk their dogs through the campus, and they just want to take a moment to sit and look.
So there's a lot of depth, ladies and gentlemen, to the 24th anniversary, 15th anniversary of the celebration itself, the remembrance ceremony at Luzerne County Community College. Douglas, thanks for staying with us to relate that to us.
I appreciate the time, and also just one final note.
I was going to say, I don't want to forget anything here.
No, one final note, we also actually have a piece of the World Trade Center that was donated to the college. Yeah, so we have a memorial that has the towers, looks similar to the towers with the piece of the actual World Trade Center there for reflection. So we do have a close tie, to what had happened, and we're grateful that we were able to have this on our campus and have it for the public.
Dating back to that New York City fireman from this area, from Nanticoke.
Originally, yes.
Man, that's important stuff. That's great stuff. Douglas Fawbush, Director, LCCC, Campus Safety and Security. Thanks for hanging with us to relate that to
Thank
everybody.
you again. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Well, it's time for our sponsors, and then we'll have a Bloomberg Money Minute in the middle there, and then we'll come back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. This date, 1983, Murph tells us Bonnie Tyler. She's moving from number 15 to number 6 with her hit, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Bob Cordaro back, and lots of great historical things happening in Northeast Pennsylvania. We just talked about the Luzerne County Community College event. And there's another place we've reported on a couple of times. And my friend Bruce Smallcomb from German about that great town's historical society. You're going to be opening this month.
The 27th at 10 o'clock will be our official grand opening with all public officials, and 1 o'clock our grand opening for the public.
How neat. Boy, it's been a lot of work, hasn't it?
Oh, 5 years.
But
that's I'm over
history
here
ain't
glass
easy.
cases.
History ain't easy. Well, Bruce, we've got to go now, and I've got an interview after the news, but I appreciate very much you telling it. Make sure you call in next week when we could talk even more about it, and then the week after. We want to remind people.
Okay, yeah, I'm sitting here looking at a Department of Mines book and a Organized Labor by John Mitchell book that we have in our thing. After listening to Dave DeCosmo, the great Dave DeCosmo, who spoke for us, and I hope he could come up to our event. But we'll call you next week, and we'll get you a rundown on what's going on.
Well, we want to reward your hard work with letting people know about it. Bruce, thank you. German Historical Society opening Saturday, September 27th. Great stuff, Bruce. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you.
All right. And let's go immediately. Charlie, we're way over, but you've got a ceremony at McDade Park, 8 a.m. And you've been doing it every year, and it is beyond touching what you guys do.
The public is invited to McDade Park, 8 a.m. for the 24th anniversary commemoration of the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. We'll have a slightly different program. We're going to have a lot more music and a bit more singing, plus the Fireman's Bell ceremony for firemen who gave the last full measure of devotion in their job. We'd love to have everybody come up. It is open to the public, and we look forward to greeting everyone.
This may be the granddaddy of all of them, because you guys started this almost immediately after the tragic events of 2001.
Indeed. I'd like to think that it set a bar for at least regional recognition. I've noticed a lot more commemorations of 9/11, of the innocents and the victims, and that's kind of heartening.
Yeah. So tomorrow, 9/11 ceremony at 9/11 ceremony, McDade Park, 8 a.m. And it is. I've been to it. It's one of the finest tributes that there are, Charlie. We thank you for doing it. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the time, Bob.
All right, my man, Charlie Spano,
right,
and that great committee that has been putting this on at McDade Park off of Kaiser Avenue in Scranton since the horror of September 11th. Well, I look at my Picardo Jewelers watch, and it tells me, I don't care if I have a Breitling watch, an Oris watch, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army, Seiko, or a Picardo's watch, as I have. You can see it on the live stream. It says we're way over. It's 11:04 and change. Time for the news. We'll be back. Great good morning, everyone. My Picardo Jewelers watch tells me, and it is the only watch store in the region, it is 11:12 a.m. here in the great Northeast this beautiful Wednesday, September 10, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. And it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values. And with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and two of his great properties we feature today, like the Scranton Art House, where the Eagles-Chiefs game will be on the huge screen Sunday. And then, of course, on September 20th, the public market, round 2, at the marketplace at Steamtown. And they help us honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans who passed away this year, but we celebrate today. Like William Carey, West Wyoming, Richard Farron, Scranton, formerly of Dunmore, Walter Sack, Dunmore, Arthur Martin, late of Maryland, but he was from Scranton, raised in Troop, Wayne Lance, Scranton, and Paul Wentovich, Mayfield. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that through our commitment to common sense, we will provide a sanctuary of sanity for you here at the Club for Common Sense for the balance of the hour. I mean, it's all we can do. I can't talk all day. Bill Maher. There's a true liberal. Liberals have open minds. Left-wingers, like our awful mayor in Scranton and our awful county commissioner, Billy Gaughan, they don't have an open... They're immune to new information. They repel facts, truth, and reality. They follow their big sisters and brothers in the Democrat Party national, and they are gone. Now, here, and our horrible newspapers, it's this flurry of fake activity. It continues. The front page, city seeks $3 million in grants for work. You got $69 million from the federal government, and you didn't do anything with it. And now you're going to put a bike lane in to screw up traffic, as though there's bikes all over the place. But no, even though we don't need them, you get chits. This is not Fifth Avenue. This is not Second Avenue, First Avenue in Manhattan. You get chits with the national lunatic left by doing this kind of nonsense and making the taxpayers pay for it. I think they're actually proud that they dupe the taxpayers. And they get together and say, yeah, you got to see the latest. And by the way, another headline, the Hazleton Standard Speaker, otherwise known as Yesterday's News, they feature on the front page identity politics. So the transgender activists wanted the bathroom thing. They wanted all the nonsense. And I've told you this again. When the decision's made as an adult, go. Do it. Live your life the way you choose. Do not impose it on the rest of the school. So good for Berwick. They said no. This nonsense is for adulthood. It's for your own homes. It's for your own businesses to decide. And they said, no, basta, enough. So good thing for Berwick. All right. The Lackawanna County Republican Party fighting against the stream. We've got so many Democrat voters in Lackawanna County. and these, so many of them are nice people. I just don't get it. That's why we played that piece at the beginning of last hour with the person having their cranium removed from their rectum because it's insane. Well, fighting that battle is the Lackawanna County Republican Party, and amongst the leaders of that group, Jeannie Lorenzi, and she is with us now to talk about the next Republican dinner. Jeannie, how are you?
Bob, I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for your patience.
Absolutely. Well, and by the way, I noticed that every single time I am fortunate enough to come on your show, it's a beautiful sunny day with crystal blue skies.
I will take that coincidence. Well, you bring sunshine. There you go.
I do my best, Bob. I do my best. Listening to all that you're talking about with what's going on in Scranton and the county, I'll tell you can get down. But I think I'd like to just point out that there are people that are fighting and are looking to make changes here, but it requires all of us to stand up and do our part, even if that just means registering to vote or requesting a mail-in ballot, showing up, volunteering. All of those things are important. So the only way we make changes to all of this insanity is by showing up and coming together. And I do happen to think, like you said, there's a lot of Democrats out there that are really are your JFK kind of classic liberals, classic Democrats, and have open minds and maybe see this insanity for exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So all we can do is keep fighting, Bob.
I mean, we have a Lackawanna County commissioner who is acting like a dictator. He's got no second vote, and he's taking actions he doesn't have authority to do, and he's speaking at a Trump is a dictator rally. The self-awareness is zero.
Well, that's not surprising. The lack of self-awareness permeates, I'd say, a wing of the party. And I'd also like to say, if you look back to one of the election board meetings, you will have noted that individual happened to indicate that he thought that anybody was there that was speaking up for removing drop boxes, et cetera, was an absolute idiot, and he thought that we needed to put more money towards civics.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, Bob,
Lord,
it was awful.
Lord,
I mean,
Lord.
if that's what you think of your constituents, perhaps you want to kind of sit back and take note that maybe that's not the guy that should be there, running things.
Amazing. Jeannie
Let's think about
Lorenzi is
some
our
positive
guest. Hey, let's get to this topic because one of the big things, and that includes voting against these three incumbent Supreme Court members. It includes a mayor's race. It now will probably include a special election because we've got a lunatic Pennsylvania Supreme Court. All of these things happening, and this dinner you've got coming up is another way to motivate people to get out and vote and to participate.
Yes, exactly right. And it's an opportunity to come together to show your support, to make a donation to the county GOP. And in this year, for our fall dinner, we are honoring a really great individual who has been just pivotal and critical to politics, culture, philanthropy throughout this area, and that's Bob Pettinato, who is a beloved figure in the area and the county.
One of my favorites. Tell us the date, time, location, all of that for the dinner.
Yes, well, we are hosting this on Thursday, October the 9th at Glen Mara. Doors open at 5. I believe dinner starts at 6. You can go to Lackawanna GOP to purchase tickets and, and also to, if you'd like to do a sponsorship, do an ad in the booklet, all of those things are available. And I would encourage everybody to come to this. We have invited guests that are running for office, whether this year or future, into next year. and some of our current people, such as Stacey Garrity, Rob Bresnahan, Dave McCormick, et cetera, of course, Chris Kermack. And so it's an opportunity to see those folks as well, and some of the people that will be on the ballot that is coming up on November the 4th.
Hey, one of the lies that our current mayor, Cognetti, is telling, she's saying, speaking of Stacey Garrity, it reminded me, they're saying, well, wait a minute, I'm running for mayor and I'm also running for Congress simultaneously. She's trying to equate the announcement that Stacey Garrity's running for governor with her running for two offices at once. I mean, I'm just beyond perplexed. And well, does she think we're all dumb and not paying attention?
Well, I think that's, it may go without saying, but just for the record, yeah, I think she does. And I think that there's a level of arrogance that permeates some of these individuals, unfortunately. And if nothing else, that should really get you fired up. Yeah. Fired up to show up. You know, I don't know why. I think that the common man and woman, by and large, pretty smart folks, you know, pretty level-headed, especially in this area, good, hard, grit, determination. And there's a couple of brain cells to rub together, too. And, you know, I think that there's a party out there that tells you that they recognize it and appreciate it. And then there's a party out there that doesn't.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the way that I see it, Bob, pure and simple. And if Republicans and common sense Democrats don't show up, we're going to get more of the same.
All right. So, Jeannie Gialorenzi, the dinner is October 10th?
October 9th.
Oh, I'm positive. October 9th.
At Glen Mara. Doors open at 5. Get to LackawannaGOP.org, and you can find all information there, including opportunities for sponsorship, donations, etc. And it's really a great way to come out and honor a wonderful man, Bob Pettinato.
Yeah.
Just a dear, dear man, wonderful family.
One of my favorites.
Oh, just one of the best people ever, you know.
Yep,
and just so much that he contributed to this area, as well as showing support for the candidates that are running in the upcoming November 4th election, our current leaders that are out there, like I said, congressmen, senators, et cetera. And then, you know, as we go into next year, as you just mentioned, Bob, there's a whole heck of a lot going on in 2026, too.
Fantastic. Jeannie Gialorenzi, thank you so much. And make sure you call in again to remind us of this event, and we could continue to have our discussion about all things Lackawanna County politics. We need it.
Plenty to talk about. Plenty to talk about, Bob. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
My
Have a great
pleasure.
day.
Thank you, Jeannie. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK, will return. Two amazing perspectives from our D-Day veterans, read by Sam Elliott and by an actual World War I trench warfare soldier. And then there's a third perspective about everybody else who served, the vast majority. And it's outside the Bloomsburg Legion in that great town. And they have a stone that says, "What is a veteran?" And then they answer the question. A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who, at one point in his or her life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America and its people for an amount of up to and including his or her life. We honor two veterans this hour, and we honor veterans every hour. We honor 6 veterans every day, and 6 veterans brought to you by John Basiliga, Basiliga Hospitality. Wayne Lance, Scranton. We lost him August 28th. He was living at the Gino Murley Veterans Center, the great Gino Murley Veterans Center. His wife, Diane Ruth Sloss Lance, passed away in 2024. The couple was married for 55 years. Wayne Lance was born in Scranton, a graduate of the great Scranton Technical High School. He served us in the United States Army, and then he worked for 31 years at the amazing Tobyhanna Army Depot until his retirement in 1994. He was a member of the Rattlesnake Gun Club. He and his wife were active members of the Grace Bible Church in Dunmore. Surviving are sons, grandchildren, siblings, nieces, nephews, and many other family members. Wayne Lance. Paul Wentovich, and I knew Paul. He died September 2nd. He was from Mayfield. He's survived by his wife of 47 years, Rosie J. Fazio Wentovich. Paul Wentovich was born in Forest City, a graduate of Lakeland High School and Lackawanna College. Proud United States veteran. He worked for Grumman Olson before retiring, and then Lackawanna County Information Technology Department. Good, solid guy. Devoted member of Christ the King Parish, St. Thomas Aquinas Church, Archbald, and a longtime member of Mayfield's American Legion. Paul had a generous spirit. In addition to his wife, he's survived by many, many family members. Paul Wentovich. Our great veterans, brought to you by Basiliga Hospitality, John Basiliga. And 2 places we want to highlight today. Scranton Art House. This Sunday, I'm telling you, it's going to be the place to be. Eagles Chiefs on the huge screen at the Scranton Art House. Great food, couple of cocktails, the whole package. And then September 20th, next Saturday, another great pop-up event at the Marketplace at Steamtown starting at 11 o'clock. Great stuff. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. And I still pronounced it right, even though there's an extra D in the copy. Today, partly sunny with a chance of a shower in the Poconos, about 73. It's up to 68, though. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 53. Thursday, sun and clouds, 78. Friday, sun and some clouds, 78 degrees. Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK. Tina Turner. I didn't know she had to make a comeback. Murph says on this date, 1984, she released her comeback hit, You Better Be Good to Me. And before that, Ben Bankus. He's really funny. Good stuff. You love it. Unapologetic conservative comedian. I can't get enough of him. I really can't. Hey, the Luzerne Merchants Association. They're going to have this, again, a Luzerne Fall Pumpkin Festival this Saturday, 10 to 6. And they've got entertainment, food, vendors, face painting, bounce houses, pumpkin decorating, and as always, more. So Alyssa Fusaro is with us here to tell us about it. It seems like yesterday we did this, but it was last year, wasn't it?
Exactly, it was. LTS, Bob, thanks for having me on.
Back at you, LTS.
So I absolutely love your show. And yes, we have this every year. This is our 27th annual Luzerne Fall Pumpkin Festival. It is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we have added some really incredible music headliners. We've got Lost at the Rodeo. Joan Harris Dance Center is going to be there to do their thing.
Wow.
With all the kids and everything. But more than that, we added a free petting zoo with free pony rides. And
Ooh.
And those little cows, the miniature cows, the Highland cows, they're going to be there. So the kids are going to get to pet them. So I'm super excited about them.
My bull mastiff Chauncey looks like a little miniature cow. Yeah, he's got the same face.
And you get to take pictures with them too, so
That's
be fun.
great.
It'll be, yeah, Well, you'll have to bring Chauncey's. We'll do a compare and contrast or something.
Now,
but go ahead,
Alyssa. Everybody knows Luzerne County. They don't all know Luzerne, but it's a great little downtown area.
We've got a great main street, and we shut it down from beginning to end and just line the street with vendors. We've got all of our great, amazing in-town vendors, which are, we've got a new honey house where you have to stop in and get some fresh honey from them. Of course, one of your favorite people, Campus Jewelers. She is always supporting the Merchants Association as well. And bounce houses. We've got an adult bounce house this year. I don't know how that's going to work out with the wine vendors. That's going to be fun.
That's a great idea.
I know. And we've got a mechanical.
I mean, you go to one of those things and you have a little wine and you want to do it. And now they can.
The mechanical bull, though, I might have to. I don't know about that one. That might be a little crazy, but it'll be fun. So,
so
we've
this
got
has
McAllister.
Wow, this has something for everybody. That's amazing.
Yes, and from 11 to 12. I don't know if you've heard of the Chase Who Band, but they will actually be they're 16 and 17-year-olds that play classic rock, and they are phenomenal. I mean, just fantastic, these kids. They are incredible. So they're going to be on from 11 actually to 2, I think we have them. Yeah, we have them from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., I think. So I'd have to check, but I'm pretty sure.
10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Luzerne Fall Pumpkin Festival, Main Dragon Luzerne. And Alyssa, call us Friday in a different hour, an earlier hour, and we'll talk about this again. That's great.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks so much, Bob. Thanks
you
again
covered
for
all
having
the
me on.
bases. We have to. A lot of work by the Luzerne Merchants Association. Really good stuff.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks again. And don't forget, you get a free pumpkin, and the kids get to decorate it, too. So it's crazy.
You covered every base. We'll talk to you Friday, either 9-ish or 10-ish, whichever works for you.
Thanks again, Bob.
Thanks, Alyssa. Alyssa Fusaro. Luzerne Fall Pumpkin Festival, this Saturday, the 13th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the Main Dragon Luzerne. We're going to take a break and come back. Guess what? We got Angelo from Madisonville. And yes, he has a theme song. This date, 1988, Guns N' Roses. They moved up to number 1 with their hit Sweet Child of Mine. Murph says it features Slash's iconic opening guitar riff. Well, I'm going to have to break it to Angelo from Madisonville. I'm playing this also for Philip Costanzo, who stopped by Dunmore Lumber, get some screen repair and listens to the program. So, Philip, this is for you, too, the Tarantella. But, of course, it's Angelo. That's his theme song. Angelo, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good. Buongiorno.
Hey, you don't mind sharing your theme song with Philip Costanzo, do you?
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm at Dunkin' Donuts. I came outside. We got a Democrat that hates Trump, and we got a Trump supporter that voted for him, and they're in a debate in there, right? And I'll tell you what, it got hot and heavy. And I'm in there, and I'm thinking, geez, I don't want to get in between two guys fighting. You know what I mean? What is
the Democrat saying? Like, what is their defense?
Well, you know what? Actually, the first part of the conversation, he said that there's some things that Trump, I can't even speak. They got me so hot in there. Yeah, he said some of the things that Trump did is good, but there's something wrong with him. He's like a czar or something like that, right? So then they're talking about the different parts and the wars that are going on and all of this stuff, right? And so I walked over to the table, and they looked at me like I had a horn growing right out of my forehead, And I said to them, I said, listen, I said, why don't you guys just stop now and then just agree to disagree? Because you could go on and on and on. And I'll tell you what, I could hear you outside. You know what I mean? And they said, well, yeah, it is my best friend. I love him, but I don't know why he voted for Trump. And he said, because I'm smarter than you, he said. It's something. The points that they have and the things that they talk about, these guys are pretty smart. But
well, you got to be awfully smart to even hold your own as a Biden Kamala Harris voter, as a Democrat Party voter. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the guy, they're both really smart. We know them. I won't say their names, but they're both really smart. But I'll tell you what, I'm sitting outside. I guess I'm going to have to help that guy. I'm going to have to teach him how to park his car. He's going to back into somebody else's car. Yo, buddy, whoa, you got it. Yeah, sorry about that.
Angelo, you're doing it all up at Dunkin' today.
Oh, yeah, I'm waiting for my cousin John, but, he's hit and miss too. You know what I mean? I don't even know who he voted for. I'm going to ask him.
Ask him. These are things we need to know.
Yeah.
Because you got to know if they're voting for Kamala Harris, you have to know that you need to help them across the street. They may not see the bus coming.
Yeah. I'll open the door for them so they don't fall. And
yes.
Get in the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, they're missing out on fact, truth, and reality.
Well, it's a shame because, to use your common sense, see what happens, see what's happening, see what happened in the past, see what's going on now, and figure it out. And it's not to me, to get in the middle and say you're wrong, he's right. See you later. I mean?
But Angelo, feel free to do that.
Well, the last time I did that in here, it caused you know what it caused.
Well, Angelo, take a side. Get in there. Get back. We got to go. So get back in there and straighten out this Democrat voter.
Now they just got in separate cars. They left. They're waving goodbye.
All right.
But I know who they are and I know where they live. Yeah, we'll straighten them out, and if I can't, I'm going to tell them to call you.
All
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
You tell them anytime.
LTS, buddy.
Thanks,
LTS.
Angelo. LTS back at you. Angelo from Madisonville. Well, Mr. Paul has a pretty much favorite song among many that he enjoys. And on this date, 1942, Murph tells us Danny Hutton, singer with the group Three Dog Night, born in Buchrana, Donegal, Ireland. And he's singing another one of their great songs, Shambhala. By the way, somebody just texted in. Listening to a clip of Van Jones sympathizing with how much pain the killer must have been living in. Then lamenting the fact that conservatives brought up the true fact that he is black and the victim was white, saying we're exploiting race, seemingly unaware that the killer walked away after butchering this girl, saying he got the white girl. Unbelievable, says our listener. The color is irrelevant. I'll go that far with Van Jones. It doesn't help you whether the color of the murderer is black, white, yellow, purple. Doesn't matter. It's a sick criminal that should not have been on the streets, but for left-wing lunatic ideology that has taken over and owns the Democrat Party. Dear Lord. Well, guys, great to be with you. You know that. We've got to wrap it up. There's nothing I can do. It's our time. I look at my Ricardo Jewelers watch. It tells me what time it is, and that tells me what I got to do. We didn't even get to 2:45 today, Bulldog. Well, we'll mention our veterans one final time. A couple of whom I knew. Paul Wentovich, Mayfield. Wayne Lance, Scranton. Walter Sack, Dunmore. Willard Carey, West Wyoming. Arthur Martin, Leda, Maryland, but he was from Scranton and raised in Troop. Richard Farron, from Scranton, but he was from Dunmore. Thanks, John Basiliga, for letting us salute these great men, these good men, these men who were the fabric of our society. Sue Henry next, Rob O'Donnell after that. And that means I have to say adios, have a great afternoon, and gavel to a close this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, otherwise known as the Bob Cordaro Show. Have a great day, guys.